Initiative by the woman of God, Prophetess Roja Anna Asiedu Mafo. She is the General Overseer of Manifestation of Holiness. We meet here Mondays through to Fridays for our midnight raw. The time is 4 a.m. Ghana time. We also meet here Mondays, Thursdays, and Fridays for our Zion Hour and Time with the Word of God, respectively. The time is 4 p.m. Ghana time. Every other Saturday, we meet here at the same altar platform for our Good Morning Holy Spirit, and the time is 9 a.m. Ghana time. Why don't you join us to do the things of God? We are going to be profiling one lady. Her name is Patricia Dzesu. She's not in yet. We are still waiting for her to get on board. Then we can get started. Today, we are going to be getting into the agribusiness. So those of us who have intentions, those of us who have interest in, venturing into the agribusiness, I think you are here at the right time. I remember some weeks back, Dr. Akayamike, did a brief intro. That wasn't the topic for discussion then, but, having been in that field, he gave us a gist of it. And so whilst we wait for our seer for today, she's going to be here pretty soon. She's facing some network issues. And let's keep our questions, our concerns, whatever is bothering our minds, those of us who want to start such businesses, poultry, name them. You would want to get more insight as to how to go about it. Once she gets on board, we will get started. In the interim, let's enjoy some good music from Pastor Joe Beecham. Okay, wonderful people. All too soon, our guest has joined us here. See how beautiful she's looking out there. Pretty damsel, Patricia Dzesu. We have been waiting for you. Your guests can't wait to hear from you. And so let me take it once again that this program is proudly initiated by Prophetess Rhoda Anna Asiedu Marfo, the General Overseer of Manifestation of Holiness. So we meet here Mondays through to Fridays for our midnight row, and the time is 4 a.m. Ghana time. We also meet here Mondays, Thursdays, and Fridays for our Zion Hour and Time with the Word of God, respectively. Every other Saturday, we meet on the same altar for Good Morning, Holy Spirit. The children are not left out. We have the amazing kids as well. Saturdays, 4 p.m. Ghana time. So this altar is fully loaded. We don't have any dull moment at all.
Sure.
We have been talking behind closed doors, trying to bring you on board. The notice was so short, but you opened your arms to us, and today here we are. Patricia, you're warmly welcome to the CS Show.
Thank you, Pauline.
We are profiling you today, and we want to know much about you. We know, I was just telling my audience that, Patricia is into the agri-business, culture, so to speak. Let's take it from your childhood, days, where you grew up, your elementary school. We'll get to your secondary school and all that, but let's take it from your birth and, up to your early school days.
Wow. Thank you very much. I'm really honored to be with you. I'm happy and really gracious for letting me into people's lives this afternoon. Of course, I grew up from, should I say, a cottage, not a village, but from a cottage called Enyinase, Akim Enyinase in the Eastern region, born by an elder man, that is Dzesu. That's my daddy's name. My mom's name is Comfort Usua from Anachem. So I'm an Ewe, Anachem at the same time.
Wow, wonderful.
Yeah. That's where I was born.
Good.
Yes, I went to the elementary from camp. In fact, it's a cottage, just as I said, the cottage called Patricia Camp in the Eastern region, very much deep into the cottages around Treso and Oda.
Oda, and it's good.
And its environs. Yeah, that's where I grew up from. Yeah. So that's
Super.
where I went to.
Well, I'll get there. Maybe I am so eager to get into the conversation proper, but let's take it step by step.
Sure.
Okay, so you grew up in Oda.
Yes, Enyinase, actually.
Enyinase. Okay.
Sure.
Your secondary school in Oda.
Yes. I started from St. Francis. I went there for 1 year, and I thought, no, the day school was not helping me. So let me come to the boarding house. So I had to come and repeat at Oda Secondary.
Okay.
From Oda Secondary School as well.
Okay. So this is where Pat and myself got to meet. Oda Secondary School. Yes.
Yeah.
Your mates are here on the CS show to back us up, both of us. I mean, we are all coming from the same school, so they are here to cheer us up, for the wonderful work you were doing. We are all giving you thumbs up. What course did you offer in Oda Secondary School?
I did home economics. Yes. Home management, actually. I was supposed to really manage home and hotels and hospitalities. But I guess along the line, I decided to switch to animals.
What informed your decision then?
I guess life sometimes gets tough. I guess there was a time I had a real tough life. The school the height I wanted to reach, I couldn't reach there. So an opportunity just came, but then I had met my husband, and he asked me if there is something I want to do. I said, well, if you give me anything, I'll do. Then he said, he realized there's money in poultry. Can I do that? I said, well, I've not seen poultry before. I've not done poultry before, but I know I can do with anything that you set your heart to do, you can do. So I decided to go into the poultry, introduced to me by my husband, then a boyfriend, not already married.
Okay.
I decided to go into it, sure.
Super. I know way back then in Ondasco, well, you offered home economics, but there were times where our Greek teachers would take us to, the forest sometimes. We had this forest behind the school, and we'll go and, do a few things. They plant maize, like that.
Sure.
Did it ever occur to you that you would one day find yourself in this?
I tell you, no. No, even though whatever I set my heart to do, whatever I want to do, it doesn't matter where it's coming from, whether it's the home, whether it is from the farm, whatever, I do it, and I do it with passion. But this poultry or the agri business actually came by, I think entrepreneurship actually came by when I got into the university, when I got to Legon. And then the first year, what they taught us was entrepreneurship.
Right.
I guess I decided to take that serious. So I learned very much into entrepreneurship. And as far as I'm concerned, poultry is one of the entrepreneurs that we have. So just as I have the skill for entrepreneurship, I just shifted into the agri sector, and I did to go from there.
Why didn't you go into, of course, you said your husband, your boyfriend then, your husband now, had spoken to you about poultry. As to what reason he, first of all, introduced you to poultry, you haven't said, but we'll be getting there. But didn't you consider crop instead of animal?
Well, no. You said you get there, so I don't know. Something actually cropped up in my school then, in the university. So really, at the time, I was really like helpless. I came to a prompt end. I didn't know what to do. So anything that was introduced to me, maybe I was just willing to do. So at that time, it's poetry that came up that I decided to go into. Frankly, you can't just do poetry without other agri business as well. So I'm actually into other agri business as well. I remember in 2015, I received an award from the Ministry of Agri, but then I was doing poultry. I was adding ruminants, as in goats, piggery, and then also vegetables.
Right.
I had vegetables. I used my manure to produce vegetables, other lettuce, cabbages, and it grew up very well. So not totally into poultry, but for agri, I come across it. Yeah.
Super. Good. We'll be coming to the awards. I know you have received quite a number of awards. We'll be coming to those awards as well. Let me go back to home management. Do you see any correlation, any relationship between what you're doing now and the home economics you studied way back in the secondary school?
Exactly. I do still join the two, because we are actually what we eat. The home economics taught me the nutrients of our body, the nutritional needs of our body, and how essential they are. And for that matter, if I'm into agri crop business or whatever it is, how I turn those things into food is actually my priority. So yes, I still take the nutritional side to actually join into it by knowing exactly what I have produced and what I'm eating. So it doesn't matter whether it's food. The food that comes to me is actually, I know what is inside, what I used to grow it, how it's going to affect my body, and how my body is going to produce it to do. So I have not left home econs at all. I actually incorporate it into everything I do. Yes, I do.
Given the opportunity, or if the chance is there, how would you want to blend the two? Let's talk about the hospitality business, everything that has to do with home economics, and then the agri, because I seem to see some kind of, correlation between the two. Would you take that opportunity?
Absolutely, I've not left it. Even before I came into the agri, I did hotel management in the Accra Polytechnic, where I started before going to Legon. And after that, I was managing somebody's hotel. So really, I know hotel management. And recently I registered a hospitality organization called the Stands Out P&E Limited. It's about hotel management, it's about tourism, it's about hospitalities. So I've not left it. I'm still working alongside with it. I'm going to really do big there if I get a chance, yes.
Right. Wonderful people. We are interviewing Patricia Dzesu. She is the CEO of Pat K. Yeah, Pat K Poultry. Yeah. Okay. So, but she is into all other aspects of agri-business, not just the poultry aspect. I know there are quite a number of people here who are interested in, venturing into this area. And so there are so many questions or there are so many issues that are bothering the minds of people. And I'm sure by the time we would say we are calling it a day, a few questions would have come across.
Yeah.
Now, how did you begin this? How did you start?
Okay. Okay. I had been to the university and out of financial issues, I had to come out of university without completing. Unfortunately, this moment was quite tough for me because I didn't have money. And unfortunately, where I was staying, I was like, there was some kind of issue with the landlord where the house was actually for a mortgage, and the person painted it and made sure that he rented it out to the students. So it got to a time we had to be evicted by soldiers, and I had to just come to my sister's place without me knowing what to do. It was really a tough moment. It was really not knowing what I have to do. I had not completed the school. I don't have my certificates. So what then do I do? This is where I met my now a husband, and he decided, okay, if this is what you are going through, would you be able to do poultry if he introduced it to you? I said, well, I have not done poultry before. Let us go to maybe I have to scout out and see if I'll see a poultry farm around. I'll take a look at it and see how it is done. Unfortunately, the first poultry farm that we went to, they had already stopped the poultry business and doing building projects with it. So I didn't even get the chance to look at a poultry farm. But then I told him, hey, I'll be able to do it. All I need to do is to get someone to take me through. So I went to church one day. I was then going to the church of Royal House Chapel International. So in a car, I saw somebody's signboard with a cock, or let me say a chicken, as a logo on top of it. So I decided to enter. Then I met an Indian man in the office, and I told him, hey, please, I'm here. I want to go into poultry, but I don't know anything about it. He said, so this is the work that we do. We can introduce you to it. We can actually help you do it. We can connect you to anything that you want to do. It's okay. I'm ready. Please show me. So then I asked him how much a day old cost. He said, I think 1 cedi 40 pesos. I said, wow, it was very expensive. I told him, oh, it's expensive. I'm buying in large scale. Could you please reduce it? And he said, how many do you want to buy? And I said, 50. And then the man laughed and said, oh, even those who buy 1,000, we don't reduce it, we reduce it for them. 50 is small. That is how I got to know that poultry is not actually a small business. To me, I was seeing it as a small thing that I can start. But the man encouraged me and said I can start with 300 at least for a start. So he has to connect me to the veterinary doctors, about 2 of them, and then connect me to where I can get the day-old chicks from, but I didn't know anything. So getting through the veterinary doctors, they really received me well. They're really happy to, I mean, a young girl as I wanted to get into poultry. And by then, there was no really ladies and young ladies or young people in the poultry sector. So they took me serious and decided to help me. And so I came to start the structure. After I finished everything, I realized I was able to start with 500 birds instead of 300. That is how it started. So I started with the 500, and with the help of the veterinary doctors, then if I remember Dr. Awuni, Dr. McCanson, may he so rest in peace, they really took me up, teaching me every step on the way. So I decided to start. And within a year, I was able to raise up to 2,700 birds. Then and I realized I had a passion to take care of the birds. But then before I started this, I was really down. My whole world was like shutting. Now I have something doing. And I took that passion into the birds, taking care of the birds. So at the end of the day, I have to even go through the veterinary courses bit by bit to be able to know exactly how the birds behave, how I have to do. And that's how it came to be for me to start. I started, and within 3-4 years, I reached 4,500 birds. And I said, no, well, now we have the birds. We are doing poultry, we are doing the farming, but I cannot just do farming alone. Thank God I have some knowledge. Let me venture into other things as well. So I decided to add the day-old chicks, which of course I consulted the Indian man who helped me, but then he was called Shimes Gangwani, but the company here was Shimes Ghana Limited, now Cowdice or Kujis as people call it. So I went to the man and told him, well, I've seen that your birds are good, your feed is good. I know I want to venture into the day-olds as well. He said, oh, for me, I'm old, and by then he was old. I'm old, I don't want to get into trouble with the FDAs and those things. I just want to, if you want to do it, I'll help you. So I decided to go. He connected me to the Netherlands, and then we started bringing in the day-old chicks. And they were so good, so quality that people buy and always want to buy. And they keep on, more or less telling people, I go for it. He tells other farms, and they also go for it. That's how we came to be. I got to and say, hey, we now have chicks, we have poultry farm. Why don't we add the feed as well? So that at least somebody comes to the shop, and the person will not find himself going to look for this here, going to look for this there. So I contacted the feed producers in Ghana. Most of them, about 3, who also decided to join with me. So I started taking from them, and then I was selling. Then I said, oh, if I'm selling feed, then let me add the veterinary drugs as well to make it as a whole something.
Then so it becomes a one-stop shop. Right.
To make it one-stop shop, sure. That's how we came, sure. That's how
Wow.
it came.
You know, having narrated all these, I mean, from the beginning, you mentioned how you got the price of one, and it was like, hey, this is so expensive.
Sure.
You are making it look like it's so easy for one to venture into such. Let us know, what are some of the ups and downs one should expect?
Of course, it's not been easy. Life is always not be easy. There are always challenges. You just have to prepare yourself and make sure that when the challenges come, you face them and make sure that you go on with it. You make a stepping stone for you. So yes, there are diseases that actually help the poultry sector very well, but you just have to know how you do it. That is how I decided to do the short courses on the veterinaries and then know much about how the birds are, the characteristics of the birds, what are their needs, how are they supposed to be kept, what are they eating, how are they going to produce. So those things actually encouraged me to go into that as well. Of course, there was a time I remember, that was like a year into the poultry sector. This was 2010. So 2012, I had a huge, hit by these viruses called Newcastle, and it's almost squandered everything that we had actually made. But the little that I had, I didn't leave it. I remember going to friends, going to some colleagues I know to give me money or to more or less lend me or borrow me money to do and then bring back. But then the poultry was not as bad as now. It's not that profitable as it used to be. Then if you have like 1,000 birds, you can raise another 1,000 and still do all your expenditures and not get into trouble. So the little I had, I came to 2.0, but it didn't stop me. I said, no, let me come back again. So I borrowed money and come back again. And thank God, there are plenty issues about it. Sometimes flight delays give us a lot of issues here and there. The COVID came to hit and nobody buys. Sometimes glut of eggs, but thank God, all becomes a stepping stone. We don't get set back by that. Yes, we'll still move forward. So it's not
Wow.
easy financially.
It's not easy.
It's not easy.
But even if you get to ground zero, don't remain there. Ask for
Absolutely.
help. And when necessary, get them. Wow.
Sure.
Somebody might be listening to us right now and might want to get in there. What is the approach? Oh, how do I locate Pat K? How can she be of help to me? I mean, I don't have money. Can I come empty-handed without anything? How would she help me out?
Okay. It's not easy, but to me, no matter how little, in fact, even in this sector, you don't start big. Even if you have the money, don't try to start big. Rather start little, learn about this thing. I mean, as and where you are going, then you'll be learning. So yes, we are almost starting a program called Chicks for Chicks. And that Chicks for Chicks is like, we want to also bring these people, young people on board where they don't have money. And I've been working with these Europeans and Americans for some time. So I've negotiated with them that if there's a way they can help, bring up these children by giving them, let me say, chicks. They will not give us money, but they'll try to give us some kind of chicks. We are going to train you. Even if you have to do it small at your backyard, you can start from your backyard. We can give the chicks to you for free, and then we groom you into it. Then as and when you become knowledgeable about it, then you can decide to grow it as a business. So that is what, for now, I'm starting. If it comes to capacity building. It's absolutely for free. I do it, I come to your farm. Especially if you are new, you want to start, I'll come from the building or from the scratch where you're going to do it. I'll come and look at it, or I have experts who come and look at it and then advise as such. The structures, there are different types of structures. We can advise you into one or two which will be affordable for you to start with, from wherever you can start with, and you can grow from there. And we don't have much to give, but to start with, we can help those who don't have nothing. Those who want to start a business, please, it's business. The way is our front. There are lots of opportunities out there in the poultry sector, the agri sector, even the processing sector. There are a lot of opportunities that we are really calling people to come and let's train you into it. You can go there, sure.
They don't have too much to give away for free, but come what may, they have opened their arms to help.
Yeah.
Would you advise anyone, venturing this area to go in for a loan as a start?
For a start, I wouldn't. My boss actually, James, Mr. Gangwani, also advised me this when I was starting. He says, hey, Pat, whatever comes, never go in for loan. But it got to a time it was really hard. So you have no option than to go in for loan. But if you have nothing at all, and you see it as a business, you can still go in for loan, even though it's not easy, but you can still go through it. Because it got to a time I had to go for loan to push me up. Okay, for me, let me say, I did it for the importation that I was doing. The farming, I didn't really go in for loan, but you can still do if there is nothing you can do. But just explore all your avenues before you go in for the loan, because the poultry doesn't just come in a day or two or a month. If you are going to the egg production, it takes you like 6 months for you to start seeing money. And those loans, if it's not grants, in 6 months, you should be paying plenty already. I don't know how you are going to really incorporate that into your production, but something like broiler, which is for the meat, that one takes like 5 to 8 weeks. That you can somehow go for loan and you can still make it. So you just have to know where you are going to put the loan money into, whether into egg production or meat production. I think for meat production, it's quite okay than the egg production. But it's all about business. Business, see, just whatever little you're doing, just see it as business. So nothing go undated. You have to keep your data and make sure that everything that you put in is listed, everything that goes out is listed. Balance sheet is rich. You make sure everything is incorporated. You don't just do it because it is animal, because it is eggs, because it's passion, and you just do it anyhow. No. But do it as business and you can still get there.
Do it as business and make sure you put everything on record so you can track where the business is going. Much information there. So let's take, for instance, somebody is interested in, doing this business, but doesn't have a place to, a place for a start, doesn't have these structures and would want these animals to be in your custody. Do you take such cases?
Yeah. Yes, we do. But of course, to get to a time, you would still have to come for them well, there are farms who do rents. So you can decide to rent somebody's farm and use it to do. Or usually you just have to employ a knowledgeable person in that. We can link you if you if you're really looking for some, depend on the area that you are. Luckily, and thank God, we are all over in the country. So it doesn't matter where you are. When you approach, we'll be able to tell you where and how you can get access to these people to help you. Aside that, there are people who don't know how to do the brooding. So if you want us to brood for you, we can brood for you. Maybe some will take it after brooding. Brooding takes 21 days. So after 21 days, you come for them. Or some will also want you to do, if it's egg production, some will also want you to do it to the production stage, like 16th week, and then your births are ready. So you come for them, and immediately you come for them, they start laying for you. I'll ask somebody to do it for you throughout. We have not started anything like that yet, but I think it's an avenue and people can also explore. You just have to get your papers right. Maybe get your lawyers involved. There will be people who will be willing to do it for you as more or less maybe a caretaker. People do. There are people living outside the country and still have all these things being done for them by people. They just have to go by the legalities that will be able to protect you and the person and the business as well. And that's fine.
Right, and that is fine. Now, one of the things that got my attention so much was the Kapuha Award. I know you have received quite a number of awards. Tell us about them.
Yeah. Of course, this one was Ghana Shippers Authority. I'm sure they did it purposely for the shipment that we've been doing. They called and said they realized that I've been helping Mother Ghana, especially when the COVID came and almost things were scrambling. I was still strongly helping doing business. So they want to appreciate me by nominating me for the awards, so that just to encourage how you've been able to go through it this COVID time and businesses are folding up and you are still in more or less shape. So I said, oh, okay, that's nice to know. I didn't even know much about this down. So I decided to go and read about that. Hey, this is not small thing, huh? I see. So I was there, they brought me the letter and said I was nominated and I have won, so I should come for my award. They gave me a date and I went for it. It's really encouraging to see that some people are watching on, even though you don't know who is watching, but whatever you are doing, people are watching, and it is really
right.
Up, sure.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Let's get to the one that has to do with the Ministry of Agri.
Yes, of course. The Ministry of Agri also that's the Farmers' Day. Every December, they select number of people to, award them, give them certificates for what they do. And their criteria is that you are supposed to be in a secular into the agri sector. So you have to be rearing animals and doing agro as well. So that is how I said, of course, the manure that comes, I use it to more or less plow the lands that I have around. So the vegetables that I don't have to use fertilizer, of course. So I use this manure. I turn the feces into the fertilizer, more or less manure, and use it to support my agro farming. So they also realized, a lady and doing all this in my district, they also want to say thank you to me. And they gave us a couple of things for what we do. But that was in 2015. And I was the best woman farmer in the district then. it also encouraged me to also do more, of course.
Right.
This actually encouraged you to
We
do
are
more.
applauding you so much for the good work. If for nothing at all, you have made Mother Odansko proud. And so hail Mother Odansko. Yes.
Wow.
Hail Mother Odansko. So your mates are applauding you in the chat. They are so proud of you. Having taken it upon yourself, gone are the days when we will say these areas are for men. But here we are, this beautiful woman doing it and doing it so very well. I am proud of you and I salute you for the good work. I want you to tell us, how is your typical day like?
Okay. Of course, I'm a mother of two. The first one was adopted. He is 23 now. The second one is just 5 years. So of course, you wake up and you have to just do the home chores. I'm the type who also like home turns a lot. I don't know whether it's because of the home econs that I did, but I always want to know what I eat and what it feels like, how the home looks like. So of course, you wake up in the morning, you want to just make sure that the house is okay. I have help from one lady who helps me in the way, but I have to make sure that what we eat, I do it myself. And then by 8:39, I head towards the office, where the shops are normally opened around 7:30, but 8, 9, I'm there in the office. I have to do all my transfers and my bank runnings myself. So I do all that we have to do. If there are orders to make, of course, we have about 4 products to order in a week. So you make sure that the list are brought to you, check and see if everything that you really want it to be is there. And sometimes, usually my son close from school by 3 and 4. So by 4, I'm off going to pick my son from and take him home. And I come back to the office after I sent him home. And we close around 6 and between 6 and 7, unless there is somebody who needs our help, we'll close by 5. If there is nobody, by 6 we have closed. And if you close, I head towards home to continue my home chores.
Wow.
Yes, that's how the day has been. Sometimes traveling here and there. I'm in associations. In fact, these associations have also helped me so much. The poultry sector have associations, which includes men and women. I am part of them. And the women also have women group in it alone. They call them, there are different ones, but the one I'm actually keen in it is called Women in Poultry Value Chain. And these are all women who are into agri sector, who are into poultry sector, the livestock sellers, the egg sellers, and the input dealers, the importers, and the raw material suppliers. All this men, we are putting all of them together under one umbrella. And I'm an executive there. Nationally, I am a woman organizer national for Women in Poultry Value Chain. And then if you come to Greater Accra, I'm their treasurer. I like money a lot.
Yes. Why not? It's very, very important, my dear.
So yes, I want to take care of their money. If they come to Greater Accra, I'm the treasurer there. And there are a lot of things going on in these groups, a lot of institutions, government institutions, and now people want to deal with groups, not really individuals, but groups. And if you happen to be a woman group, there are a lot of opportunities out there for us. So this group has really helped so much, brought us together. So, and they have linked that across the world. If there were any poultry businesses or poultry opportunities out there in the world, Europe, UK, US. We are linked, and I'm also a member of World Poetry Science. So the whole world, if there's any program going on, exhibitions and anything going on anywhere, we are actually notified and we are able to bring our members along and we benefit a lot. So yes, my day is always about business, a little rest and pleasure or leisure here and there. My church is one thing I never just let go. So all inclusively, my day is good. I'm okay.
Her day is good. She is okay. She balances life, work, happiness, religion, everything together. Hands are up already. Let me go pick. Okay, so Faithful God, you unmute yourself and let's know what your concerns are. Then we take a few things from the chat. People are applauding you so much. Faithful God.
Thank you so much, Zelina. God bless you. I'm all here and I'm proud of us here for today. I'm just happy that home economics is one of the courses that some of us, when we were given, we cried. And I believe your time was even worse because there wasn't anything science related. You were not doing biology, chemistries, and all the others. Now they are offering, and you can even do nursing with it. I just want you to say something to us that's concerning the courses that we are given, home economics, and how you made it, you wrapped it in a very nice way for it to give birth to this beautiful dream. My second question is that corporate social responsibility, what have you given back to society, your company? I know you have employed people, you have done this, but something unique that somebody has benefited from your company. Then the third one is that, back in the villages, we always like poultry, the birds in the backyard. We always say they are healthier. Of course they are, but you being in the industry, I just want you to educate us that both are equally good in the sense that the drugs that are given, how harmful are they to our health? The eggs we are eating, how harmful are they and all that? Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Faithful God. I guess you would want to take it one after the other. So you're okay to choose whichever one you want to address first.
Yes, so starting from the home accounts, how, of course, home accounts, myself, when I got to a time, but that was when I was still in school, I felt, oh, I didn't choose well. I should have chosen something else because I thought, this home accounts is just about food, right? It's just about kitchen. But hey, I tell you, home accounts is not just about kitchen. The whole life that we have is actually about management, and the home management really takes a lot in our life. No matter how the height you reach, you still come back home. And I tell you how this has actually helped us in managing our home is tremendous. You would go out there, your mind is burdened up about what you eat. This is nutrition, and this is science. And so at the end of the day, home accounts, we have a lot of opportunities that will actually help us. We'll be able to make money and still manage our home the way we want it and live our life the way we want it, healthy and nice looking at all stages. It doesn't matter your age, it doesn't matter your field, you'll still be able to look well. So at the end of the day, to me, home accounts is the best subject that if you want to really choose, you can choose because it cuts across everything. Just don't limit it to home and maybe being a chef alone, but just incorporate everything that you have learned into the home management, into your life and your businesses. And you do what? Your offices, your businesses and everything. It really helps. So for me, I don't know if I would have loved anything apart from the home accounts that God gave me. I'm really happy to be part of home accounts. So home accounts have a lot. It's about economics. And this world that we are now, money is very hard to come by. If you don't have the economic skills, you cannot actually, go on in life. So home accounts has a lot to offer than just anything. So don't be left out. Don't be downcast. Don't be shouted that you are doing home accounts. It cuts across everything, and it helps in me. It has helped me, and I know if you take it serious, to help you as well. So going to the second question about what I have been able to also offer into the society. Just as I said, I am into an association, and I'm actually a founding member of this association that brings women together to train, give opportunities, link them to the business opportunities that they can do, help them to actually raise their best. If you have any issue, you call, I am there. Apart from that, through the association, we bring out these new people. We have an offer that helps those who comes from the university and don't have anything doing, not even don't have anything doing. If you want to get into the agri business, you contact us. We have this fund there that we actually help the youngsters who are coming, to actually help them. We give them some kind of a startup money to help them go into the agri business, not purposely for poultry, but any agri business that you are into, but mostly poultry is the largest part of it. So we give that one. So apart from that, I think I am mostly, though my work is actually, most of my workers are men because they are supposed to, but the ladies, I purposely bring them in to also learn and train them. We give them capacity building where they can manage things and get onto their own businesses as well. So I think we're still helping. We are trying to do more. The chicks for chicks is also a new thing that is coming in to help the society, those who don't have money. Even if you have money, you come, we will train into, because we want to get these youngsters into the poultry sector much. So come, it doesn't matter where you are coming from, we'll be able to help you. Just as I said, we are across Ghana, everywhere. We are even more in the Doma and the Kumasi more than even Accra. And mostly it is the ladies that we are actually doing these things for. Not because I'm a lady, but because mostly the ladies do a lot, but we are usually seen behind, the men, and we don't really gain much. So I think that helping these ladies have their own job or even support their husbands with their jobs would help. So the backyard, as you said, can help, but we will help you go through it. I do train people. I do follow-ups. I do after service or after sales services, where whenever you call me, I am there for you. That is really about Part K. Part K is actually about, even though you can, if some of them comes to buy, we follow up to make sure that what you have bought, we don't just go and lose it and then sit somewhere. No, we'll follow up and make sure that it sustains and we give you all the support that you need. The last question was, if you can, I don't know if you can remind me.
I think she spoke about the local birds vis-a-vis the foreign ones. We in those days we thought that the local birds were healthier, and so what do you make of that?
Okay, so local birds, the local birds are absolutely good. They are quite juicy. If it comes to the local birds that we live, we will call it the free range. It's a kind of one that you have very tasty. But if it comes to business wise, these ones are not actually able to, they are not in a confined area that can control a lot of things. So they are exposed to too many things. And maybe along the way, you may not be able to survive them to the end. But we are talking about business here. So you just have to bring in what they eat outside there into the buildings, I mean, into whatever you are doing. We do a lot. We do give them these leaves to make their meat and eggs juicy. We are Ghana, it used to be that we will do a lot of fishes and lessons into our incorporate them into our feed. But now we have seen that, hey, we are what we eat. We will have to eat healthy. So we don't incorporate these GMOs and these things into it. Everything that we use to do our feed is actually what we grow. And it is as freshly as possible. And we give them the soya, the second class proteins that we use for our feed. That is what we are actually using for our feeds. And it's very good. They are fruits, they are vegetables, and it helps. So yeah, backyard is not just because you have to leave them to go. You can still buy this one. It's the day old that you are buying. If you buy the day old, it is not, they come with nothing. It is what you feed them that actually make them what they are. And what we feed our birds are actually natural. The veterinary drugs that I am into, it's phytogenic. It is organic, not chemical. So you can actually go with a backyard or business, wherever you are finding yourself, you can do it without chemicals. And that's what most of us are doing here in Ghana. So that's fine.
Right. I want to believe that she has answered you, faithful God. Are you satisfied? Okay, she will definitely get back to us. Okay. I saw another hand, Mama Becky, if you still would want to put your submission across. So whilst Mama Becky makes way to come in, let me read a few comments in the chat section. And okay, so this is coming from Gertrude Akolai. She says, "Pat nye schoolmates nye." And Patience Nyangsen, okay, so Patience Abwaje Jen, she says, "Wow." And then Gertrude comes back and says, "Well done, Pat." And your name, Pat, also says, "Congratulations, dear. Really proud of you, dear. Proud of you. Keep on keeping on. Mashallah." Obamo from Faithful God. And Gertrude is cheering you up. "We pledge to reflect on Mama Odasko's love. God has indeed brought you far, and we're proud and grateful to have you with us today. Thank you for the insight too." This is coming from Ohima Prisi. "Go girl, well said." Well said, ma'am. I'm answered, please. Okay, so Martin comes with us. Aside Koji's feed, what other good feeds can you recommend? Okay, so Mama Becky says it's a mistake. Okay, so then let's take the other feeds that you would want to recommend.
Okay, so the other feeds, there is Big Star Animal Feed. They are good. There are SR Agro. There are GAFCO. There is GAFA, and few others. Sure. So at least you have not less than 5 feeds that you can actually go into. And thankfully, we are actually also planning this in our plan within the next 2 years that we'll be able to do our own feed as well, which is particularly concentrates, and it's all our own plant. And then I mean, you can add up to this, but all these feeds are good. Just that when you buy them, ask them how they are used, because and of course, not even the feed alone, the birds as well. There are breeds of birds, and they all have their nutritional needs different. So if you are buying the birds, ask whoever you are buying from. If you're buying from me, of course, ask me. If you don't ask me, for us, we have we've been doing it. We make sure that we if you are first time, we take you through the characteristics of our birds and what they need. So that knowing who the birds are, the breed that you have, you'll be able to go for which feed that you are going for as well. And if you add the feed people, they'll tell you. If you don't ask them, you ask us, we'll tell you. If you go for this feed, this is how you use it. If you go for that, this is how you use it. If you go for this medication, this is how you use it. So it's just about how you incorporate the two, the breed and the type of feed that you are buying.
Right. So know your breed and know the feed that goes for them. Mrs. Tete.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, I have no intentions actually of investing or doing poultry, but the question has just occurred to my thoughts and I want to ask if one would like to maybe invest or be a partner. Is it a sure thing that the person is going to make profit, or stories will be behind that? Oh, the chicks died, we didn't make any profit, and the eggs were not laid, you know, those stories. And what would the evidence be that the chicks died, the eggs were not laid, and so on and so forth? Thank you.
Thank you. Of course, these birds, this business is actually, you are dealing with live animals. It is live, and mostly sometimes some of the things that comes is not actually known. But thank God we have actually studied them. What question is, what is the bird you are going in for? Know the bird you are going in for, the source, the origin of the birds you are going in for. You'll be able to tell whether there was some kind of cautions, or let me say services that are done on this birds, or from the parent stocks that these birds came from. How were they good? So for instance, you come to Part K and you want birds, we'll tell you the breed that you are coming for, you are bringing in, where it is coming from, and what kind of services has been done on them. Because there are a lot of diseases out there that actually attack these ones. So most of them, we do the pre-services on them, like the vaccine. Some of these vaccines are done already before it comes. So if you have birds that are already been vaccinated against some of these things, we can't really control what diseases or how the diseases attack much, though we have biosecurities to actually follow. Some of them, even if they come, because the source and the birds are healthy and quality and they have been vaccinated against them, it doesn't affect you as it used to be, unless these birds were not vaccinated. If they are vaccinated, you will not go like your birds are dead like that. No, there may be this kind of things, but it will not affect you as if you had not done it at all. Aside this, you really need to have experience about the birds, their life. How do you handle them? It's not only the supplier that actually have to do everything. You also have your part to do. How was the structure done? Our climate, how does it affect these birds? How do we build our houses? What are the more or less the pros and cons of this bird? So even before you put up your house, you know where to face where, how the wind directions are. There are lots of things that goes into it. You just need to be trained or be informed about these things, and you can always control what comes to it. And there are a lot of let me say, if I say capacity building, it's more or less a lot of ways that we used to do these things. First, we didn't know. Now, luckily, we have them at our we have a lot of veterinary people on board trying to help us in doing this. So if you go by the management guides that we give you, if anything you don't know, ask even before it happens, because it's life. If you fail them, you can fail their life. So you don't just want to do anything, but with some kind of cautions and some kind of experience. That is why I said initially that don't do it without, don't start big when you don't have any experience. Start small to gather the experience, and then you can get there. There were diseases, but I tell you, the first one I had was in 2 years into my business, which was 2012. And since then, I have never had any outbreak anymore. Not because I use anything, but because I have the experience now. I know how the birds are supposed to behave. I know what they have to eat, what they do have to eat, how their environment has to do, and what they breathe and not. So if you're experienced and you get the experience, you will not actually lose everything to these things. Business margins has actually dropped recently because cost of raw materials and inputs are really high, but it's still manageable. You can still do your balances and you still have some kind of profit. You just need experience to start, yes.
You just need experience to start. Cost of living has gone up, but hey, you can still do your balances. So Martin is saying thank you and comes back with, there is this medicine called Deuterion. Please, have you heard of it? Is it good as being displayed on social media? Would you recommend that?
The name for the medication again?
Deuterion.
Can you spell that?
Okay, so that's Deuterion.
Deuterion. Okay, what I'll say is that the medications are plenty. What I may need to know is the composition of that medication. Then I'll be able to tell you. I don't think, for the names, there are plenty. I can't have all names like that. Maybe I'm not even come across, but the composition, the nutritional, the contents, the chemical content of that medication will be able to tell me whether it will be good and then what it is good for, sure. So I need to have that one before I can say anything on that.
Right. So once you have the name now, you can also research on it, and then Gertrude goes there and say, I smell Martin is doing poultry. Mrs. Tata, I don't know, your hand is up. Is it an old hand?
It's an old hand, please.
Okay, right. Good. So we have eaten into the time, but we still are having some good chats here. I know there are still people listening and would want to have a lot of questions, but maybe their backgrounds will not permit them to unmute to find out. You still can drop your concerns in the chat and we'll still read them out. Our Facebook family, we are taking your concerns. Drop them there and we'll pick them, let you know what we have to say. Patke is here with us. Don't let her go with what she came with. Draw from her. Wonderful People is still the Seer Show, proudly initiated by Prophetess Rhoda Anna, the General Overseer of Manifestation of Holiness. As said earlier, we meet here Mondays through to Fridays for our Midnight Raw. The time is 4 a.m. Ghana time. Wherever you are, you want to do the calculation to suit your location. We also meet here Mondays, Thursdays, and Fridays for our Zion Hour and Time with the Word of God, respectively. Patricia Dzesu is our guest for today. She is into the agribusiness and poultry. She's the CEO of Pat K Poultry. What are your final words for us, Pat?
I just want to say now businesses are not really in a nice shape, mostly after the COVID. A lot of things has gone on, but we can still go through this. Let us do our things as business people. Everything that we do about the business should be business. Nothing goes wasted. Control your waste, control your loopholes, more or less. Make sure your data are always intact. We can go through this and still come out successful and big. aside that, I would like to say thank you so much. I'm really honored to be with you, Pauline. It's been so great. I'm grateful for God for how far He has actually brought us, and all the others as well. I'm grateful. And thank you all, that secondary school. And 98, I mean, leave us. No. You are mwah. If I go into the platform, I feel like, wow, why have I been all this while? In fact, I haven't been on all these years. Until just last year, was it December? And I was introduced to it, and I've seen that you're doing greatly. Thank God and thank you.
We are so happy to have you. So somebody dropped a question in the chat and we still want to take it. Where is Fat K located? Christmas is coming. Are there any discounts for us, especially those of us who are here on the Sia show? Do we have any discounts? We are coming for you like Akai.
It's necessary. It's necessary. Come. We are located at Adenta Barrier, but mostly we can do things by WhatsApp messages, by our Facebooks, by Instagram. It's not been, it just recently that I went on those ones, but at least WhatsApp is much active on it. Just drop us a message or call us. We'll be able to help you. For discounts, yes. Not even just for this show, but even for Nananum, just because we are all the same family, please come. We will do something for you.
Okay, so for Nananum and Manifestation of Holiness members, if you are right here on the shows, pardon me, on the Sia show, you have a discount. And so get in touch with me, Nananum. We rock, especially the 98 group, Angaza. We rock,
so
Angaza.
So
yes,
much.
Yes. So get in touch with me and you can get the contact to Pat K and your goods will be delivered. If you want your beds to be, raised right away, it will be done for you. You don't necessarily have to go pick them up. They can keep them in the same place for you until you're ready to pick them up. I am sure it's been a wonderful day for all of us. I have enjoyed myself. I have gotten a lot of information. I am coming for my fat chicken this Christmas. Yes. Thank you so much once again, Pat, for responding to our call. It was a short notice, but every now and then my call is there and you never refuse any of my calls. You call to check up. So Pauline, what is it? What are we doing? Like that. Thank you so much. You are amazing. Keep the good work up and keep, waving the flag of Nananum high.
Yeah, sure. We'll be there.
Definitely. On that note, we have come to the end of today's episode of the Sia Show. We salute you, El Mama, Prophetess Rhoda, Anna Asio Dumafo, one woman there who is touching so much lives out there. Keep it up, woman of God. May God continue to bless you. And all of us here, it's much love. We love you so much. And you know what? There is absolutely nothing you can do about it. Stay safe and stay blessed. Bye.
Bye. I love you.